Okay, so hello YouTube. It's your boy TWPR1998 or Lele or whatever you want to call me. Today I'm gonna make it's gonna be like a combination of a prediction slash wishful sort of ban list for the new ban list that is gonna come out in either a couple of days or in a week or even tomorrow. We don't know yet. They just said that it was gonna be late August for the Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG game. I will say this. Some of these are hot takes, so just bear with me. I still believe this is also the right way for me, where I think that they should balance the game, but everybody got their own opinion, so you can take this with a grain of salt and just trigger warning, I guess, because people get like insanely, they go ape shit for a lot of these things. So yeah, let's go ahead and start with it. Um, so for me, let's start with the elephant in the room, and that is Dimension Shifter. Dimension Shifter, we all know it. We all fucking hate it. I hate it. You hate it. The only ones that don't hate it are people that either play Kashira, Flanderies, or any other type of shifter deck. It's always been abused. It's been abused in Flanderies. It's been abused in Kashira, obviously, with Macrocosmos, but the major difference is with Macrocosmos, you can remove it out the board. The shifter, if you don't happen to have a call by or some type of gamma, uh, then you just cannot do anything about it. It's just a card that basically, either skips a turn or has like no interaction to it, and it ruins the game. It ruins the game. It makes the game unfun. Some decks can technically deal with it, even under shifter, and that's if you play it like hooray, I guess. But not every deck can do this, and it is the majority of the decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! That just cannot deal with this one card because of the toxicity that it basically provides and what it just does for the game. Where the graveyard is just not existent, and you just gotta be like, all right, I guess you just won. You just got a scoop. All right, so yeah, for me, ban it. This is both a wishful thinking and something that I believe should be banned and is probably gonna get banned in the in this new ban list. Gamma. Gamma is a card that to me really wasn't an issue. I still don't believe it is an issue, even with the whole like Baron de Fleur and Stardust Dragon part of the combo that basically like you would go like Gamma if they like Ash or let's say in this instance, right, they go more charmy. You would Gamma, and then you would go Stardust, summons Gamma, and then go into a level 10. This card wasn't an issue. Obviously, I wouldn't say go at 3, but it definitely can go at 2. Having it limited to 1 was never something that they should have done, in my personal opinion, especially with all of the toxicity and all of the cards that basically are just in the meta. This card was fine at 2. It was never an issue at 1. So yeah, this thing at 2, if they put it at 2, it would be great. This is both Whiffin thinking, and I believe it's going to be a prediction for the new ban list. So yes, Gamma 2. Uh, the next one would be Appaloosa. Um, Not gonna lie, I don't think this car is that much of a problem if the engines that make it weren't so scummy about it. So yeah, this one is just gonna go straight up here to ban. Um, and you guys might call me a hypocrite in a couple of minutes because of what I'm about to say about another pair of cars that I'm gonna talk about. But in particular, the reason why I believe Appaloosa is a huge issue is obviously because of Masquerena, which is also gonna go up there. Both for wishful thinking that they should get banned and things that are probably gonna get banned. The thing is that IP just makes it indestructible by card effects, right? We already know that. And then the fact that once you do it on your turn, you're gonna deal with 4 negates into one card, and you could technically play something like Triple Tactics, Talents, and Thrust, but then you gotta deal with things like Ash Blossom, right? So yeah, this card is a huge issue. It's not, and you could play around it, which also makes me think that I would have just like kept it on ban if this one gets banned, right? But at the same time, it's like, fuck, like not every deck can deal with 4 negates in one card. Like, and then you gotta skip the battle phase and then pray they don't got something else. So yeah, I say keep this one banned. Sanctifier, ban. Ban it, ban it. It should not belong in the game. You can't do anything about this card, and the only thing you could do is technically like play a Gamma, right? But like, what can you do? Summons Gimmick Puppet, summons Idol, summons Raw, like that one Raw card, which I forgot the name of it, Raw's Disciple, right? And you just can't do it. You just can't do it. There's nothing you can do. It fucks you up. Like there's no way to put it. So yeah, no, ban it. Both wishful thinking, both thinks that they should be banned in the ban list. So yeah, and then right up here, talking about floodgates, right? Like Sanctifier, because Sanctifier is technically it's not a floodgate, but it summons a floodgate, which is why it should be banned. To keep in mind, and the reason, and this will always also go to this card later down the line, but we'll talk about it. Um, Dementia, D barrier. It shuts down a part of the game. There's certain decks that lock you into a certain archetype, and if, for example, if Labyrinth plays this, because Labyrinth is actually a pretty good deck, a decent deck, especially when they have a card that makes them play in turn 0, plus transaction rollback, they just fucking call this out, and then you just can't play. There's nothing you can do about it. You just gotta try and figure out what you can do. Keep in mind, not every deck plays just one type of card, but the decks that do, for example, heroes or synchrons or things like Salamangreat technically doesn't play just more than one archetype, but most of the monsters are links. The ones at least that do something are links. So yeah, no, this just shuts down a part of the game, and it should not belong. This also goes down to the same thing as Dimensional Shifter, right? And a Sanctifier, where they shut down a part of the game and it makes it unfun. And the only thing that you could do about this is pray that you just happen to have some type of Cypher monster, which you don't have because nobody plays it, or you're not playing against, or they go turn 2 or you go on turn 1, and pray that and the dice roll that you just happen to get turn 1. This should not exist. It should have never existed. And you might be saying, well, this is not a problem now. It's still a problem. It'll be a problem in the future, just like it is a problem now, and it should be banned. Like it is, because Labyrinth plays this and it shuts down the deck. This should not exist. King Calamity, unban. Now, this is one of the parts where I say, like, you might call me a hypocrite for certain cards, and there's other things that I'm gonna talk about later, but King Calamity is not a problem. King Calamity does nothing by itself, and this goes the same thing with Gimmick Puppet. Gimmick Puppet can also stay unbanned. These two cards are not a problem. They do not do anything, because the problem is the engine that makes it, right? And this could also go for Appaloosa, but the difference between Appaloosa and these two is that Appaloosa, you make it with this, and you get like a 4 negate monster, and you just pray that you get something to deal with this, right? With this really doesn't do anything. They both do nothing on their own. They don't win you the game. Well, technically, King Calamity doesn't win you the game. This wins you the game more times than not, but the thing is that like you can't really they're just cheesed out. They get cheesed out on your turn, which like if you think about it, if they get cheesed out of in turn, and this goes back to Crimson Dragon and things like Sanctifier, like these two, right? Just ban the cards that cheese it out, which is obviously Sanctifier, cheesing out Gimmick Puppet, or any other type of lock, and Crimson Dragon cheesing out Calamity or every other level 12 monster. Because the thing is, let's say they do ban Calamity, right? What is gonna stop Crimson Dragon from summoning this one? What is it called? Blue Eyes. Is it Blue Eye Spirit? I think it's Blue Eye Spirit, so let me check. I think it is Blue Eye Spirit. I went to shopping. My bad. What is gonna stop the like Crimson Dragon from summoning this? This is a level 9 synchro monster. There are level 9 synchros that are easy to summon. For example, Virtual World level 9 QB, or let's say you do summon Trishula, or let's say you play Stardust Dragon, and you use the card to want that one card that lets them manipulate their level by one, and then you just go Crimson Dragon. Neither player can summon more than two monsters, so this is already a limit summon, level 9 synchro monster. And that obviously you need a Blue Eyes, but you can cheese it out with Crimson. What is stopping when let's say they ban in Calamity, that they play stuff like this? The problem was never King Calamity. The problem was never King Calamity. King Calamity is not a problem card. The problem is Crimson Dragon cheesing it, and the problem is Sanctifier cheesing this. So yeah, no, these two, both in wishful thinking, and a thing that should get banned, and that they should ban, and that is probably going to get banned, is these two. So yes, ban Crimson, ban Sanctifier. Every other idiot that I hear that say like, oh, King Calamity and ban Game of Puppet, you guys are idiots, and I'm just going to say it as it is. You guys are stupid. They are not a problem. The problem is the cards that summon them. So ban the cards that summon them. Ban the engine, not the monster. Going over. Flamberge. Flamberge to me and the Snake Eye cards is the cards that should be banned, because Flamberge is what puts the Snake Eyes in the continuous spell. They also do it, I believe, with your monsters if I'm not mistaken, and let me just double check because I actually want to be sure. Snake Eyes Flamberge Dragon. Let's read this card, right? Let's read Flamberge. Let's see what it says. You can target one face-up monster on the field or in either graveyard, place it on the opponent on its owner's spell and trap zone. So yes, this puts your own cards on the spell and trap zone. So you might be saying, well, you just better have some monster that protects it. Fair, but that's still something that they shouldn't do. This extend combos. This does way too many things. For example, the IP stuff. So yes, no, it is Flamberge. It's always been Flamberge. It should be Flamberge. And the end of the story is Flamberge. Flamberge is the one that needs to be banned. Runic Fountain. I hate Runic. We all hate Runic. This card just does way too much. The only ones who like Runic is Runic players. Talking to you, Joshua Smith. Haha, I'm throwing shade. I know, but for real though, is this card just we don't like it. It is so unfun to play against, and it just does things that pisses you off. Floodgate players play with this, and I don't think that Runic itself the fountain should be banned, but I believe it should be limited for the fact of how Runic plays, where it's just, let's say you do something and they go fountain, they get 3 cards, what's stopping them from getting a skill drain, right? Or what's stopping them from getting an anti-spell fragrance, goes in matchup, rivalry of the warlords, a synchro zone, like that is the issue with fountain, and that's why I believe that it should be banned. Another thing is things like Runic Sprite, Runic for hire, Runic Tempai, which is the thing that people are doing. They're using Runic with stun to play with Tempai, and that's how they win games. And it just shouldn't exist. It should not be a thing. I don't think Runic is the problem, but I believe that Runic is way too strong and it should be also nerfed. And how do you nerf it? Lemon Fountain. It's easy enough. Fuck Fountain. I could also say do the tip, but I'm fine with the Runic cards. I think the engine, which is Fountain, is the major problem in this situation, which is why let's limit it. Skill Drain. If it was for me, I would put it here, and that is a lot to say. And this will also go with anti-spell fragrance and any other floodgate. But well, this one I do believe it should be banned, but I know it's limited, so these two can actually just go up here. Floodgates are obviously unfun to play against, especially when you play a stun player or any Runic stun or any floodgate type of situation, or even just against Snake Eyes, because they do play like Skill Drain, or they used to play this, especially this. I actually hate this card more than Skill Drain, because at least with Skill Drain there's ways to get around it. There's no way to get around this. You just gotta pray. So for me, I would have just done this. But if they go unlimited, that means that nobody's gonna play them because there's really no way to search them unless you just happen to have a pot card, right? We're talking about pots, prosperity. I would also put desires here, but prosperity should not be in the game. Yeah, and with not every deck can play it, but the decks that do play it just go ape shit if you want to call it that. I don't think it should be a card that should be here. And if it was for me, all of the pot cards, like Desires, Prosperity, um, Duality, right? Like they should not be in the game because of the thing that they do for the person playing them. It just does way too much. The only one that can technically stay is like the purple one. What is that one called? Let me see. Uh, let me see. Let me just look. So obviously there's prosperity, but I'm not talking about prosperity. I'm not talking about greed. I'm not talking about inquisitiveness. Technically, these two can stay. Pot of avarice and pot of inquisitiveness can stay because they really do nothing. This one, I've actually played both, and they don't feel as good as obviously desires, prosperity, or um, or extravagance. Like extravagance, desires, and prosperity to me, they should be gone. So yeah, no, ban prosperity, and then these two just keep it at one. If it was for me, they would be banned, but that's wishful thinking. So I would say just keep them at one where they belong. Um, Branded fusion. You know, this is wishful thinking for me because my thing is, hear me out, guys. My thing with branded is that they have so many ways to play the deck, and I'm not just talking about fusion here. I'm talking about, you know, like a branded Sorcerer build. They could play like branded Dogmatica. They could play a branded Synchro build, just only branded Synchro. They could play like there's just a lot of ways that Branded can play the game. They have a lot of support and also indirect support, right? But they all revolve around Branded fusion. If it was for me, I would just do this. Like that is it. I hate Branded. The things that they pull is kind of crazy, but I also think that it's fine that they get to play because the thing is that this is a foolish burial, right? And you can ash it, but it's still a foolish burial if you don't got the ash for dark and light monsters, and that is what leads to this, and that is what leads to that. But also, I don't mind that they get to play the game either. Yes, it is annoying. We all hate it. It is a deck that's just built for fucking bums. Like, let's be honest. But if we want to just limit the deck, then I say just put Branded Fusion at 1. Put it at 1 because they got many ways to search it, they got many ways to play the game. They got way too many ways to play the game. And Sanctifier is technically the problem in Branded because it's a super poly. Technically, it's a super poly. So if they want to play the Foolish Burial spell for Dark and Light monsters, fine. But ban this and put this to 1. Because that means that now Branded has to think of ways to actually play the game rather than just putting a spell that does everything for them. They can still have that spell, but now they gotta be creative about it. Savage. Savage can stay on. Savage can stay actually banned. I am fine with Savage staying banned because the thing is that Savage was a lot easier to do, especially if you play something like an Asketer package or or just any type of link package because of what it does. But this one, I'm not gonna lie to you, I think Baron should be on ban. Now that's wishful thinking, but I believe Baron should be on ban. And you might be calling me, well, a fucking hypocrite. You think that Appaloosa and Savage should stay banned, but Baron doesn't? The thing is that Baron was really not a problem. The problem with is the cards that make Baron. Because yeah, Baron is a broken monster. But hey, look at this. We got Zeus, we got Typhon, which actually can deal with Baron. We got you know, DDD Wave King Caesar. We got right now Wapaloosa. We got ways to play second right? Which is like, hear me out, hear me out. If you wanna get rid of Barone, you could just play Dark Ruler no more. It shuts down the card, and then you could hit it with a Raigeki, or just hit it, beat over it, and you would have been fine. But no, people complain way too much. So yeah, that was a little secret, right? For me, I really do believe Barone should be unbanned because unlike Savage, the thing is that Savage got those counters. With Barone, you get the negate once, and then you gotta return it, and then summon it the other turn in order to get the negate again. If you like, there's the thing is that Barone actually leads to high plays. It does so many cool things where Savage just does. It's a giant beast stick with, like link counters, and it also negates, and it does the whole Dragon Link combo where Barone is just Barone. Barone was actually a cool card that did cool things, and people just complain because they bitch about it. I'm just gonna call it as it is. They bitch about it. Some like unironically, I also think Appaloosa should be on ban because I think Appaloosa is fine, but then that will be Tito, you're crazy. But no, I mean I really do believe Barone should be on ban. That's just me. I see it as you wish. I really do think this card should be unbanned, but that's wishful thinking, which is why I'm gonna put it down here. Alright, Promethean Princess. If it was for me, Promethean would be banned. Because Promethean, the problem with Promethean is that it's a monster reborn for fire monsters, that it also just becomes a Phoenix Enforcer. And it's way easier to make them Phoenix Enforcer because you don't need a spell for it, you just do it. But it's gonna be fine. They're not gonna do anything to this card, and that's just a fact. Wanted. I think Wanted is fine. I don't think Wanted is an issue. If you really want to hit Snake Eyes, I guess put it at fucking 1 because, it's Wanted. They can still search Wanted and use Wanted to search another card, but for me, it's probably gonna stay here. If they do something, they're probably gonna put it at 1 because I don't think they should ban it. I really don't. The Wanted is technically fine. Consistency hits are fine in certain situations, like when you will do consistency hit, like banning prosperity. But in these terms, I think, or like if we deal with Runic Fountain, right? But I think Wanted is not really a big problem. Snake Eye, I mean Diabell Star. This card is fine. This card doesn't really do anything. It just you go Wanted, you search this, and then you gotta send something to grave, right? You technically do deal with this card. I don't think there's really anything to do about it. If you really want to do something, right, like let's say they put 110 in this as 1, and that's just wishful thinking. And like I said before, consistency hits are not that are fine sometimes, and sometimes it isn't. The reason why I would put these as 1 is because that means that they gotta work, and I would do the same thing. I would do that if this was banned, right? But like they're still gonna go a full combo, so these ones are fine. Alright, so Tenpai cars. All the Tenpai dragons, they're really not gonna do anything to them. This is wishful thinking, but I believe all of the Tenpai cars that you see here, they should all go at 1. It's this one I would like it banned. I'm not gonna lie to you. I would love this card to be banned because this card is what makes Tenpai go crazy, and they go way too crazy. Like they do stuff that shouldn't really be allowed. But we know they're not, so if we just put them at 1, that means they actually gotta work to get what they need. Like if you think about it, put these cars at 1. And these cars in particular, not the Synchro Monsters. Synchro Monsters are fine. The only one that is not fine is Trident, and I believe that Trident should be banned. Yes, it is now when it's good, but if you want to hurt the deck in a major way, let's say you put these at 1, put Trident, just ban Trident, and then the deck actually just has to figure out what to do. But that's just me. Everybody got their own opinion, and that is fair. This one's mine. Thunder Dragon Colossus. Ban it. Hear me out. Thunder Dragon Colossus is a card that right now is not a problem, and in fact some people are saying that they should drop it at 3. The thing is that this would be a problem in the future. Thunder Dragon Colossus It's just drawing Lockburn on legs, and you might be saying, well, drawing Lockburn is, allowed in the game, so why not Thunder Dragon Colossus to be allowed in the game? Draw just lasts a turn. This lasts as long as it's alive. You can't search while this is on the field. And it protects itself, right? If you make it with a Thunder Monster, if you have a Thunder Monster in grave, like a Thunder Dragon Monster. Like to me, I really do believe that this card should just go away. I really do believe that should be the case. Thunder Dragon Colossus should not be in the game, and that's why I have it banned. The same thing will go with this. Protoss should also be banned. What Protoss creates and Thunder Dragon creates are just the same thing as this, the same thing as this by making these two, and then the same thing as this, right? It just creates an unplayable, unfun situation that should not be in the game. The same thing for this, right? But like the thing is that this is not gonna get banned. This is brand new, so just limit all of them. In this situation, just limit all of them and then ban Trident, because it's the only go old card. It will also hurt the deck in a major way. Maybe they will get creative and find some other way to play the game, but for right now, I believe Trident is the answer to ban. I really do believe so. Keep in mind, this is, like I said before, this is my opinion. If you have a different opinion, I would like to hear it in the comments. I do have a Discord server, which I'm probably just gonna put the link down below. But yes, no, this is what I truly believe. I really do believe. So yeah, to me, this is what they should do. These two should just go back in the ban list because they are not fun for the game. Especially this one right now, and this one will be in that situation in the future. I really do believe that is the case. If not, then just put it at 1. And leave it at 1, and don't put it anywhere else. Just leave it at 1. But yeah, to me, they should be banned. Both should be banned. Beatrice. I don't have to say anything about it. It's Beatrice. It's just Chaos Ruler, but 2.0. That's the best way to put it, but for spells and traps. So, like, yeah, no, just ban it. Yubel. I really love the Yubel deck. I think it's a really fun deck to see play. I get that people are annoyed, and because people are annoyed, they're thinking about certain things, right? I guess, just ban this. This is the best way to basically hit it in a way. Because then also if you hit these two in particular, the Yubel that basically dies, and they still got Phantom Yubel, they still got the whole Super Poly, and they got SP. They would also be a little bit more fair to play around. So yeah, no, I'd say yeah, just hit this one Unchained card, the Lord, I believe it's Lord Yama. And if they ban this card, then that means that Sharvara would be on ban and semi-limited. I think that's the name of the card, right? Unchained Sharvara. Sola Sharvara. Yes, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Sola Sharvara is a card that is banned. Card text, search, view card for latest. It is limited. It is limited. Okay, so it is at 1. And I believe they put that because of the Unchained, deck. So, yeah, I say, if they really want to do something, if they ban this, they should go back to 3. I really do believe that's what they should do. Snake Eye Poplar. I think this card should be at 1 because, and in this terms for consistency hits, we already got these at 3. This one at 1, yeah, it still does the whole combo, but with Flamberge gone, this gets really affected. It will also make the deck like in a situation where it's not going to be as viable as it used to. Plus, they will have to search, which means that if you draw them or ash them, then they better be creative and have something else in their hand, right? But their whole set would not be as powerful as it used to. Snake Eye Ash. This one should also be at 1 because of the same situation where it creates a point where if this one is banned, if Flamberge is banned and these at 1, then they don't get the combo with Flamberge, and they also just gotta play the game, right? They don't just go this and then summon this hole right here and they just go full combo, right? Like if they get really affected. Talking about cars that should have been here. Bonfire. Bonfire to me should be at 1. The reason why I believe Bonfire should be at 1, if reinforcement of the army is at 1, Bonfire should be at 1. There's no way for me that Bonfire should be at 3 when reinforcement of the army is at 1. Bonfire gives you way too many pyro stuff and it's actually going crazy. It should not exist. To me, it should not exist. There's gonna be problems in the future and this should be at 1. Original Senseless Foils. I think this card should stay on ban. I don't think this is the problem. And if this stays on ban because of Wanted and this can still play the game. Where with this, it definitely, you know, they're still gotta be creative with the stuff that they do. So yeah, no, the original Sinful Spoils, it's not really a problem. It also makes it so that other decks can still use it. For example, Rescue Ace, right? Or I believe Salamangreat. I'm not 100% sure because I don't play the deck, but it makes it so that those decks still have a way to play the game with cards that are new, even though they're not from the deck. Um, it makes it fun and interesting, if that makes sense. Snake Eye Oak. I say ban this. The reason why you would ban it, just like Flamberge, is because it just makes it so that it gets a card from the banish zone, right? Which we get these two, and then it just keeps going, doing crazy stuff, right? A hit with these two would make the deck just far fair, honestly. And if you hit this, right, this one can even just stay back at 1. I mean at 3. I really do believe that is the case. Big Welcome Labyrinth. This card to me should be at 1. This card to me should not be at 3 with the interaction and the situation of what it does, because of the situation that I said before with Dimensional Shifter. Not Dimensional Shifter, but Dimensional Barrier, where you would play this and turn 0, summon Labyrinth, either pop a card in the field or in your hand, and then they would just do this, and then it just creates a crazy situation that to me should not be allowed because they play on my turn. It would also make it so that they gotta, because like, come on, like to me this is a way too strong of a card, and we all know that they receive one more line of support because there's clearly one more person here other than the Labyrinth Butler. Like, Big Welcome to me should not be a card that should be allowed to play the game the way that it does. They go Ku Clock, they go crazy, they either summon Karma Duma Cannon. Let's say they even set, let's say, you know, because of Beatrice, even though I also think it's gonna get banned anyways, but let's say they go Beatrice, Big Welcome, and then Ku Clock. They just happen to have transaction on their hand, and let's say you negate this, then they go transaction rollback and still summon the Labyrinth. Like, no, it's way too consistent, it's way too good. It just makes the game unfun. Then they go this, or they go Karma Duma Cannon, or just some other bullshit, right? Paleozoic, I don't know. They just do way too much. And to me, if they put this at 1, it would be at least fair to play around it. Block Dragon. To me, this is just me. To me, it could go unbanned, but that's wishful thinking, which is also why I want to put it down here in wishful thinking. The thing is that to me, Block Dragon really wasn't a problem, especially with Baron, you know, being banned. It could actually just go over there and it wouldn't really do anything, because it's only rock decks that use this. And yes, Emancipator is the highest, you could say it's the culprit, but the thing is like with this thing out, it's like there's no point of keeping Block Dragon in the in the um, in the ban section of the game, because this will also make decks like Magnet Warriors go crazy. I would love to see Magnet Warriors actually be able to play the game, because Block Dragon will make them viable in some way, shape, or form. Obviously, Emancipators will have a place on the map. I think the deck was fun. What they did was actually far more interesting than what Snake Eyes or even Labyrinth do nowadays, or even Branded, or even or Tempai. And it would create these interactions where it's like, man, I can destroy the rock monsters. Let me see what I can do about it. Also, with Appaloosa in the ban list, right? If they ban it, this thing would not have a way to make Appaloosa or IP, right? They will have to go SP and then figure something out. Did he key hike King Caesar? Um, this one's kind of a hard situation because I get the issue with Waking Caesar where they go Waking Caesar, especially with Fiendsmith in the map, right? Like you could say it could stay banned, but I believe this is more of this and this are more of a problem than Waking Caesar and this thing too. Like to me, it could actually stay unbanned because the thing is this would also do collateral damage to the DDD deck, which really ha hasn't done anything wrong. It's just this one card being abused and everything else. So to me, man, that's just wishful thinking that it stays unbanned, right? But like it'll probably get banned, which is why I'm putting it here. Um, all of the statues, all of them banned. Get these shits out of my fucking face. None of these actually create a healthy interaction in the game. What they do is crazy. Tearlaments, I seen Tearlaments use this one. I seen Labyrinth use this one. Obviously, rock monsters like Emancipators used to use this one. And if they ban this, think about it. Then this thing could also still go back into the map because they don't have a way to summon this because it is banned, which means that it becomes also far healthier for the game. And it also makes Block Dragon, actually fun again. Instead of just having to summon this and this in the same like in the same situation what they're doing right in like the same fucking turn. So yes, all these statues need to go. These ones in some way shape or form are gonna get played. This one's probably gonna get played in the future once Fire Dice get out of the map because Snake Eyes is probably gonna use it. I've seen, like I said, I've seen Telomus use this one. Obviously, Emancipators use this one. Flandreese used to use the wind one, and this one is probably going to get used in some way, shape, or form later down the line once the light deck actually becomes severely viable. Fenrir. Fenrir, to me, should either be banned or at 1. Obviously at 1, because the thing is that what Fenrir just does so much. On Resolve, it banishes the card face down. It can special summon itself. It can search for another Fenrir. It has high attack. Not higher than Pankratops, but it has high attack. Like this card on its own just win games, right? But I also don't think it should be a card that should be banned. I really do believe that this card should be at 1, and the reason why I think it should be at 1 is because it searches other Kashira cards, which is what makes it decent, right? If it was for me, I would also put Unicorn at 1, but I think Fenrir is the higher problem because of what it does, right? At least if they put it at 1, then that means that there's gonna be a fair chance to basically deal with it. And you can basically still play around it. Now this is my last option. This is wishful thinking for it to be banned. Um, I know that this is really not a problem, but if this is still in the game, and this is just an interaction that I had many times. I know Snake Eyes don't use it anymore. In fact, they're using Fiendsmith now. But let's say they, get rid of Fiendsmith, or they ban the Fiendsmith, and they go back to original Snake Eyes. If you the Ash, the Snake Eye Ash, with let's say you ash the Snake Eye Ash or you ash the Poplar, right? They go Gita, they use your own Ash Blossom because this just happens to be fire, and then they go Promethean Princess, right? They got that interaction, and things like Rescue Ace also have that interaction. Things like um, things like Rescue Ace, things like Salamandrate, things like Snake Eyes get that interaction where they they go Gita, they get your Ash, and they still go combo. This would also makes it so that this thing is a little bit more fair to do, because it basically also drops inconsistency later down the line. Even though again, I know they're using Fiendsmith, but I think that banning this is a way. You could say this is a screw-up thought, and that is fine. I get it, but I really do think that when Snake Eyes came out, I think this was the answer to make the deck more fair. Now the cards that came out now are obviously more powerful, and they don't even use this. But if they ban the other cards that make it more powerful, for example the Fiendsmith or even this should go. This really should go. I don't think this should belong in the game because of what it does. So yeah, this is my ban list. Obviously that is wishful thinking for this one, which is why I'm putting it down here. So yeah, in conclusion, my ban list is better than yours. This is the right way to do it. Fuck you. I'm the only one that's right here. But no, yeah, in all seriousness, this is my ban list for the, like, both a prediction and a wish list for the ban list. But yeah, this is what I think that they should do for the game. It will make the game far healthier that way, and a little bit far more interactable. I hope you guys enjoy this video. Please leave a like and sub. I hate saying that; it sounds so cringe. But leave a like and sub. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.